Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome you all to the meetup. My name is Dinesh and I'm going to be a host for tonight.
Today is MXTechies 7th virtual live Mendix meetup, and the topic is about how to integrate third-party design system into your Mendix application. The speakers are going to be Rafael and Vignesh ji. Before moving on to the session, I would like to share the journey of MXTechies. MXTechies was incepted in 2017. Initially, we provided high-code development services in Java, React, and so on. We entered the Mendix space in 2018. We are headquartered at Lewis, Delaware, and have development centers in Pune, Bangalore, and Chennai. We have over 75 plus certified developers, including Rapid, Intermediate, Advanced, and Expert, and 2 MVPs and 1 trainer, the first in India. We provide the whole 9 yards of Mendix services, right from UI UX development to creation of web, mobile, and native applications. We also extend our services in advanced analytics and retail operations. And we are currently a partner of Siemens Mendix, providing end-to-end Mendix solutions across globe to the enterprise clients. Without further any ado, I'll hand the session to Rafael.
Yeah, thanks Dinesh. Welcome everyone. My name is Rafael. I'm an advanced certified Mendix developer with MXTechies. I have around 4 years of experience in Mendix across web, native, and progressive web apps, and I have built over 15 applications across pharma, manufacturing, education, legal, and insurance domains. Today, we are here to talk about how to integrate third-party design system using Mendix. Next, we shall look at the demo. We have planned to keep this session highly engaging and informative. Let's get started. We are in the process of selecting the top 10 design systems. Among them, we are considering the Tailwind CSS system. The purpose of selecting the Tailwind CSS design system is a structured and reusable set of design and UI components that provides a collection of predefined classes for rapidly building user interfaces. However, we are here to demonstrate that it's not complex at all. Through this meetup, we aim to encourage all developers to start integrating the Tailwind design system without any hesitation. We are going to walk you through the entire development lifecycle of web application, right from creating the web apps, building blocks, and reusing the Tailwind classes using the design system. We will be looking at all this elaborately in some time. Now my colleague Vignesh will take over.
Thank you, Rafael. Hello, everyone. My name is Vignesh, and I'm a senior software consultant and an advanced certified Mendix developer with MXTechies. With 4+ years of experience, I have a diverse skill set and a solid foundation in Mendix. Over the past few years, I have the privilege of working on various projects, each presenting unique challenges. All my skills and gained a valuable experience all through my journey. We shall get into the topic now. So now we are going to discuss about need of a design system. There are many key things to consider to adapt the design system, but indeed there is 4 most important ones to look at. First, consistency. To provide better user experience, maintaining consistency is necessary. Colors, typography, and user components all over the app needs to be consistent, which in turn enhances the use of the application. Here, design system ensures that all elements of a product or a service is consistent. Followed by efficiency. For promoting better efficiency, design system is vital. Reusing of predefined components and styles not only reduces the time and effort, it eventually increases the efficiency of the app. Here, we can get rid of boilerplate codes. Next, scalability. As we all know, the features of any application get enhanced day by day. Maintaining a consistent design becomes increasingly challenging. A design system scales with the project, making it easier to manage design changes and updates across different parts of the application. Last but not the least, collaboration. Design system facilitates collaboration among designers, developers, and other stakeholders. Here, it helps to reduce the misunderstanding and conflicts between different stakeholders. So, these are the key things for the need of a design system.
Let's see about generic structure of Atlas code. Let's look in detail about the structure of Atlas code. Atlas code is divided into two categories. The first one is native and the second one is web. Today, our focus would be on the web. Web folder is subcategorized into different files and folders. First, we have main.scss file, the root folder of the design system where we import all our files. And the second one is variable.scss file. These files contain the color code for each widget we use in our application. Without this file, for example, if we use the hexa code as 222 in our application, we have to change wherever it's used. With this option, changing at one place, it will get reflect throughout the applications. And the third one is helpers folder, which has the most commonly used components such as buttons, data grid, list view, etc. The final one is design properties. Another interesting feature in Mendix application is that we can select the font size, alignment, and image styling directly in our model. Let's take a closer look at its implementation shortly.
Nice topic. So now we will be looking at drawback of restyling Atlas code. Many developers have a common practice of restyling the Atlas code. So due to that, we face several potential drawbacks and challenges. So here are some common drawbacks that are associated with it. At first, disruption to new UI developer. Any significant change that we do in the core design element can disrupt the new UI developers from understanding the structure that is an Atlas code. Besides, it also collapses the complete design of the application. The next drawback is unable to revert original design system. It makes impossible for the developer to revert to its original design system. Here, additional time and effort is required for the complete initial setup. So keeping these drawbacks in our mind, so we have to plan our design system to make it much more effective.
Thanks, Vignesh. The ideal way of styling the design system. Let's look at the prerequisites to set up the design system. First, we need to add the play CDN script to your HTML file and then do the configuration. And finally, refer the documentation of Tailwind design system to creating the building blocks. There are different ways to configure Tailwind in our application. The first one is Tailwind CLI. It's a command line interface. Next option is Tailwind CDN. It's a content delivery network. For the demo purpose, we are using the Tailwind CDN. As you can see here, this is the script tag that we have to add in our Mendix index.html file. Let's see how to configure it in our application. First, go to the Studio Pro. At the top, you click the App menu and click the project directory. Here, you can see the theme folder. Let's navigate into the folder. Here, you can see both web and native folder. Let's navigate into the web folder. Now, you can see the index.html file. Let's open it in the Visual Studio Code. This is the index.html file. Now, the next step is copy the script tag from the Tailwind documentation. Let's go to the code pin. Here we need to copy this script tag and go back to the Visual Studio Code and paste it into our index.html file. So this is the process to add the CDN. So in this index.html file, now you can see the script tag of Tailwind. Now the complete setup is done. Now Vignesh will explain how we can create the building blocks and use in our dashboard.
So as you can see, there are different components available here. So these components are picked from the Tailwind documentation. Tailwind have different components that has been already created using a predefined styles that using the classes and names they already have. So as you can see here, we have a list of components. From this, I will be explaining you how we can create a card with image, followed by Rafael will give you an explanation about avatar. First, let's look at card with image. So as you could see here, we have an image with text and so on. We are going to create this image by following the Tailwind documentation and the code that they have already provided. So this is the code that we have picked from the Tailwind. As you could see, the structure of the Mendix and their structure is completely different. So we follow a widget-based structure. This structure is completely different that we have in a HTML. So whatever the widget or a component that we use in a Mendix, finally converted to a HTML element. So that's the thing that we have to keep in mind. Before that, we have a div element image and h5 so on. To bring this element in our Mendix Studio Pro, we have to understand what widgets is finally rendered to a div image so on. So before that, let's get into the Studio Pro now. Okay. So by default, if we add a container in a Mendix project, it will be finally rendered as a div element. So as you could see here, the render mode of a container by default is a div. You can also change it to section, article, whatever you require. But we are going to follow the documentation of a Tailwind. Since the document or a structure of a HTML element is this way, we are going to follow in that appropriate way. Okay. So before that, let's create a building block from a scratch so that we can add the code and convert it to a Mendix type. Okay. The first step would be adding a new building block. So we can go to add a building block. Let's name it to card with image. So let's analyze the code. So I've already picked the code from a Tailwind, and as you could see here, this is the code that I have picked from the Tailwind. Okay. So the first step would be, as you could see on the top container, the top container is wrapped with the div element. As I previously said, div is a container in Mendix. We have to add div at the top. So inside that we have an image, and next to that there is a one more div which is packed with the h5 paragraph and anchor tag. So the one thing that we have to notice and we have to be aware of is, so we have to place the containers widget based on the structure we have. So if it is a child of a parent, we have to place the widgets accordingly. If we misplace them, the complete structure will break, so it won't work as appropriately as followed by the documentation. Okay. So as we have seen at the top, you could see a div container. So since container is a div there, let's add the container here. Inside that, we have an image next to inside it. So let's place a image now. So you can have your own image, so whatever you require. So as of now, I'm using the image that I've shown in the slideshow. So we'll finally place the classes, whatever they have provided. So first we'll add all the elements that they have given. So the next element is a div. So inside that we have h5, paragraph, and an anchor. Let's do that. I'm placing a container next to the image. Inside that we had a h5. So in Mendix, if you place a text by default, it will be of a span. If you want to change it to a heading, you have to change the render mode. Here you have an option. So by default, as I said, it's a span. You can change it to h5. Here I'm going to give name as MXTechies. So you can give the name you want or as per the requirement you have. So it's up to your choice. Next to the h5, we have a paragraph. For that, we have to repeat the same step. The only thing is we are going to change it to a paragraph of a render in render mode. Next to that, we had an anchor. In Mendix, we can bring the anchor using a link button. Let me select the link button now. And then we are going to rename the link to a read mode. Since link is a read mode here, I'm going to rename it as a read mode. Let's change it to read mode. Here we have completely added all the elements. The next step would be we have to add the classes that they have already provided. So you don't need to worry about the classes. Since it's a custom styles they have already provided, just copy the class names they have given and copy it to the respective elements. So that is the thing you're going to follow it. On the top we had a div container. I'm going to copy this class at the top. So we have two options. You can directly paste it here or you can double click it. You could see general option and appearance tab. In the appearance tab, you have a class here. Just paste it and click OK. Then next we had a image. Let's copy the class for image. We have rounded DLG here. Just copy it. Let's move on to the modular first. And next we have the define. Copy the h5. So this is for the h5. And for the top container we had d5. Then we have two more things, that is for the paragraph and for the link. Wait for the paragraph now. Finally, we have a link. Just copy all the classes without missing it, because if you miss anything, maybe the complete component get collapsed. So just follow the documentation. Completed. So we all set with the component for card with image. Finally, we are going to see how it looks in our application. Let's move on to the page now. So as I've already created the layout grid here, I'm going to just pull the building blocks from there. You can just right click it and add building block. We have given the name as card with image. Just click it and let's see how it looks in our application. So as you could see, our expected output is present here. So this is how we can create our own component in the Mendix application. So to make the application much more better and impressive, I'm going to just copying it and paste it next to the layout grids. So if you want to make it responsive, you can add the responsiveness. If you want to make the image or text to be dynamic, you can do that. So that's up to your choice. Let's see. So this is how it will be showcased in our application. Now, Rafael will give you a brief explanation how we can create an avatar.
Yeah, thank you, Vignesh. So before creating the building blocks for avatar components, here, as you could see this output, we are about to bring in our Mendix application. The next slide, we'll have a glance at the avatar code which we took from the Tailwind documentation. First, we need to analyze this structure. So in this structure, we have created the one div elements. So inside the div element, they have created one image. So next to the image, they have created one more div element. So inside the div element, they have created two text fields. So this is the process we need to replicate in our Mendix application. Let's go back to the modeler. So let's create the one more empty building blocks. Name it as an avatar. Now the empty building block is ready. Now I'm going to create the container as per the avatar structure. So I have created the container. So inside the container, we have one images. I'm going to add an avatar. So next to the image, we have one more container have been created. So now I'm going to create one more container. So inside the container, they have created the two text fields. The first one, now I'm going to create the text. So we can name it as an John Dio. So in the next to the text, we have one more text we need to create. Now the structure has been ready. So next thing is just we need to copy the class from Tailwind and then we need to paste it in our appropriate container. Let's go to the code pane. Under session, we have added a class for container. Just we need to copy the div element and paste it in our appearance tab. Just double click in appearance tab. The bottom you can see the class. Just paste it here. And the next they have added one more images. We need to copy this class and paste it here. The same process we need to repeat it again for the two text field. So again, so in this div they have added the one font class. So just copy and paste it. So now the avatar structure has been ready in our Mendix application. Let's navigate into the live demo. Bottom, we have already created the heading for avatar. Just right click and add the building blocks. Here you can create avatar. Just double click. Okay. Let's run the application. Let's see the output. Yeah, great. So this is the simple way to create the avatar code. So now Vignesh will explain about the design properties.
So that was a cool explanation, Rafael. Next, we are going to look at design properties. So in this session, we are going to look at the design properties and what the design properties are and what are its advantages. Okay. First, we shall look at the purpose of the design properties. So there are different ways of styling an element. We have like inline styling, we can style through external style sheet. Here, Mendix provides an additional feature where we can directly choose the styles, colors, fonts from the modeler itself. So we have a whatever widgets we go on, you could see an appearance tab. In the appearance tab, we can see the spacing option, the font option, the style option. So that options, if you want to customize for your design system, yes, Mendix has provided that. You can customize by just following the documentation and we can implement in our design system. So we will show you the step by step how we can do that. At first, to understand design properties much better, we are going to take two examples. One is list view and the other one is container. So as you could see, you have two options here. So one is general and the other one is an appearance tab. So these design properties that is already present in the Atlas code, you can see it here. So these are the design properties. For instance, if you want your own design system, you want to add some styles based on your requirement, we can do that. Here, there are two options through which design properties we can select. One is through drop down and the other option is a toggle. Mendix has given some structure, that is a JSON structure. Using that structure, we can bring the expected requirement. So before getting practically, let's see how the structure looks in our application. So since we are creating our own design system, so it will be in the Tailwind design system. Inside that, we are going to web and we have a design properties section here. So as I said earlier, these are the two structures. So in the design properties, you could find the option for a toggle and the other option is a drop down. So as you could see, this is the structure for toggle and this is the structure for a drop down. Let's see how we can implement this in our application now. Okay, so first go with our toggle option. So this is the structure. So you don't need to change it, because if you change something that won't reflect properly in the application, or else it will throw some error. So as you could see here, we have a property name. The property name is nothing but, if you go to any container and if you see the appearance tab, you could see the design property name. So this is the name that we have to provide that. Since it is an option, you could see here, as you could see here, this is the name. So the attribute name is common for the drop down as well as the toggle. So that is common here. Since we are going to do it for the toggle, let's, okay. Before that, we have to understand one thing. There are many ways we can target our widgets container. Since Mendix contains different widgets container, we don't need the same styling to everything. For example, if we take a list view, we will be having a attribute called style. So as you could see here, when I select the line, the styles of a list will be lined. If you want a striped way, you can select the stripe. If you want a bordered list, you can choose the border. But this same styling is not required for container. How we can prevent that? To prevent that, we have a target. Here, this is where we can select our target. If you want the same styling to each and every widget, you can just type widget here. If you specifically want the styling to any container, for example, here I'm going to choose a div container. So in that way, we can target our widget. For the here, what I'm going to do is, since we already have a hide on phone, hide on tablet option, we are going to do a custom hide. Let's see how we can do that. So I have already given a name custom hide here. So you can change it to your choice. Let me change it to custom hide option. Once I change it, we have to synchronize to see the option. Since I have selected the target for every widget, it will be reflected each and every widget we have in the Studio Pro. As you could see here, the custom hide option is present. So I have already changed it to custom hide option. Now if I synchronize it, you could see the attribute custom hide option here. So the next thing is, since it is a toggle option, you can choose two things. One is yes or no. Okay, you can provide the type of option, you can give the description you needed, and class. This is the most common thing you have to understand here. So we might think how the design properties work. It's nothing but whenever we select any option. Let me show you practically. We choose the container. So we have a spacing top option here. Also, we have a resulting classes. Whenever we select any option, the related class will be inserted to the element. This is how the design properties work. Similarly, if you want to do any custom styling to your classes, we have to add that. What I have done is custom hide option. For the custom hide option, I have given, this is my custom own class. I have given TW hide. Whenever I select yes, you could see the resulting classes TW hide. This is how the design properties work. So with this class, you may have a doubt that with this class, will every element get hidden? No, you have to give the stylings. For that, what I have done is, in the main.css file, I have given a class name TW hide, and for that I've given a display none. If I remove this stylings, the class that has the style what we have given will not be reflected. So we have to keep this one in mind. And the next structure we have seen is for the div container. What we are going to showcase is how we can add our own font sizes. For example, we may follow different font size pattern based on the design system we have and the standards we have. So this structure is completely different. Since it is a toggle, this structure is different, and since it is a drop down, this structure is different. So what name I have given is, since I'm using it for the font size, I've given a name it as font size, and the type of a design property is drop down. The next to that description, it's up to your choice. The next option is whatever the option you want to give it in our drop down, you can place it here. Inside that, you have an object and the properties. First, it is the name. Let's click this container and could move here. I've given two options here. One is 16 pixels and the other one is 24 pixels. So if I choose a 16 pixel, you could see the resulting class TW16 is inserted. And if I choose this one, you could see a TW24. For that, in the main.scss file, I have already added the font sizes. So you can change, you can insert what, you can give the class name you require, and after giving the class name, you can give your own styling, whatever you require. That's up to your choice. So basically, this is first thing, two things you have to understand is what are the options that the design property has, and to bring that design property option, we have a structure here. Just follow this structure. For more information, if you need a more information, you can follow the documentation that Mendix has already provided it. That's it. And if you want to specifically want to target HTML elements, for instance, that's a div container, you can do that. If you need an option to every widget, you can also provide it by targeting through widget. So let's see how it looks practically. Okay. So here you could see the heading avatar. What I'm going to do is, using my custom class, I'm going to change the size of the avatar here. Just copy this one, and I'm just going to place it here to this custom font. So outside of the div container, we have a div container. I'm going to choose the font size with help of our design properties. So when you click this one, since we have already configured 24, click this one. If you have a TW height, you will not be able to see this font. Let's run. See how it looks in the output. Let's wait for a second. Since we changed the design properties, it has to sync, and it has to completely reflect. So that's the reason it's taking a bit time. Let's wait for, yeah, it's done. So as you could see, I have added one more text above, so which is a custom font size. The reason this is not reflected, or you can't see there, is we have added a class custom hide option to yes. So let's change it to no, and we have only one resulting class, that is TW24, so that you can see the reflection of the font size. As you could see here, this is the font size of our text reflected. So with this as an example, you can easily understand how you can give your design properties to your design system. So that's it from my side. Now Rafael will explain the next topic.
That's a great explanation, Vignesh. Let's see about the enhancement with Google Fonts. We have one more nice features provided by Google, namely Google Fonts. We have enhanced our Mendix app with our preferred font styles. Let's look at some simple steps to import the code to our CSS file. Let's open the Google Fonts in the Chrome. Here you can see the different font families. I am going to choose the Poppin family. Okay, here we have the different font weight and font style available here. Let's selecting the font styles. First we can select the light 300 and regular 400 and medium 500. Okay, once the selection is done, we need to import in our CSS file. Just copy the import URL and paste it in our main.css file. Let's see how to import. Here, there are two options. One is link, the another one is import. In this import, we need to copy the URL. Just paste it in our main.css file. The next step is to add the font family. Just uncomment it. Here we have already added the font family pop-ins here. So now why I am using this star symbol, it will reflect the font family across the application. Let's see how it's reflect in our Mendix application. Now I am going to add the not selector of glyph icon function. Let me explain why I am using this not selector of glyph icon. Here, to demonstrate why I am using it, let's remove it, see how it's reflect in our application. Now, the reason, as you can see the navigation icon, which will get collapsed. The reason why the glyph icon uses different font families. So we need to apply the font family changes except the glyph icon, so that we have added the not selector in our code. Now you can see the result of the navigation. So the next one is the components of Tailwind. We will be showcasing the most commonly used components in the Tailwind. Let's see the list of building blocks and widgets we have already created using by Tailwind classes. First, we navigate into the building blocks.
Rafael has explained, Tailwind has many components. So for the demonstration purpose, we have picked two. We have already done a set of components that Tailwind has provided, and we just want to showcase that we can do in our Mendix, and there is a possibility. There is no restriction Mendix has. So whatever you want to implement, you can just directly follow the documentation. It's just a generic one. You can just follow it. Whatever, for example, as Rafael has already said, we have many design systems available. It's up to your choice. You can choose your own design system, or you can choose the top design system that are available in the market. So these are the components we are going to showcase how we have created using the Tailwind. The first thing would be a timeline. Tailwind has many different types of timelines available. So we have created two components. So as you could see here, so one is of this style and other one is completely different. So based on your requirement of a project, you can pick any one and you use it in your application. Next to that, we have a card. So we have a simple card here. We have a card with title and card with image that we have already seen with an explanation. And next option we have is a card with header and footer available, and horizontal card, a card with the interactive features. The next thing that we have implemented is radio button. So this is a default radio button, and if you want a radio button with a link inside the caption, you can do that. This is a checkbox mode. So this is we commonly see in most of the websites. We have a terms and condition option. So this type of radio button is available there, and a badge with animation. Even this is one of the option available in the Tailwind. The next one is alert. You could see different alert messages. That is a primary one with a danger success available. Even for the alert, they have given with three different variation, as you could see here, which is bordered at the top and curved border on the left side. This is a normal border. Finally, we can see zoom in and zoom out on hover, and this is a gradient effect. So from this explanation, I hope you might have understand. We can implement whatever the design system available in the market and implement in Mendix. So Mendix is much more flexible. Just understand the structure, the generic structure, how to implement everything, and follow the instruction one by one, so you can easily implement whatever you want in your project. So this is another thing. Even this is followed by the Tailwind documentation. We have a progress bar here. We have different progress bar. This is with different width and with different colors and different type of styles. Next, we have a group, carousel, masks available, as well as a spinner. I hope you might have seen the spinner. You can replace with the progress bar or whatever you require. If you want to load more data, you can show this spinner instead of that until the data gets loaded. We have different styles as well. You can follow this whatever you want.
Thanks, Vignesh. We have come to the end of the meetup now. We hope you have had a great time learning about integrating the third-party design system. We want to thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Rafael and Vignesh. You clearly explained us how to integrate a third-party design system in Mendix, the step-by-step process to customize your design properties, and also to create your own design system according to your company. Now, I'm very quite confident that everyone will be able to customize their own applications and create their own design system according to the company's design. Thank you all. Have a great day.